Right, Gareth Southgate has been speaking to the media ahead of England's match with Ivory Coast tomorrow at Wembley, which you can see live on Sky Sports. Southgate fielded an inexperienced side against Switzerland, which included debutants Mark Gay and Kyle Walker-Peters. And the England boss was pleased with how they handled the occasion.
Whenever we're bringing players into the squad, it's always great to see how they cope. Sometimes it's not the opposition quality, although on Saturday the quality of the opposition was high. Sometimes it's just about seeing where people are in terms of the weight of an England shirt and whether they can cope with that. And I thought all of the players that came in did really well. So that was positive. Tactically, there were things that we saw again, but we knew anyway. We played a system trying to manage the two games and get all of the players some game time in positions where they're comfortable, and that meant at the beginning of the game the other day there was always a chance we could have a bit of a tactical problem. When we changed, that was a better situation for us, but that actually wasn't a bad thing. The players had to solve problems during the game, and that was another aspect that I think we could learn from.
You clearly created an environment here where players can thrive. Luke Shaw talked about it after the game, said he loved playing with a smile on his face, helped him kind of almost raise his performance. We saw that with Pickford as well. Harry Maguire's somebody else who's had a difficult season. How much do you hope he can do the same if he's chosen tomorrow night? And also that balance between loyalty and continuity and form, is it a constant battle in your head?
Yeah, well, I hope we have an environment that all the players feel they can be the best version of themselves, and a lot of that is credit to the environment they've created. We've got super characters who, I'm looking at the young players coming in, the older ones are all sitting with them at meal times, they're making them feel relaxed, feel at ease. And then there's clarity on your job, on the pitch, what's expected of you. And I think they're the things that we have to achieve to allow people to perform at the best level. In terms of selection, that's always a difficult conundrum, because we've got players who we know have performed well in an England shirt. There's got to be some level of scrutiny on how people are playing with their clubs, because that's got to be a factor within it. And then, not so much for this week, but who's the opponent, who's best suited to play against the opponent. So it is a complicated thing, and I know everybody has a view on who we should and shouldn't be picking. In the end, we need the best players possible, playing at their best level, to give ourselves the best chance of winning.
And Maguire's still one of the best players for you?
Well, he has got us to a World Cup semi-final and a European Championship final, so there's no doubt he's more than capable of playing at the highest level. He was very good for us in the autumn, and the club are in a difficult moment. There could be any number of reasons for that. So we that doesn't mean that players can be poor for a couple of years and then still find their way in. And sometimes it depends on competition for positions. We've obviously left some forward players out who haven't been in good form. But there's direct replacements, experienced replacements for those players. So, as I say, it is a complicated decision.
Another complicated decision is, I suspect, over Harry Kane. He's probably desperate to get out there again, isn't he? Made a bit more history on Saturday evening. How hard is that balance? Because he wants to be out there, but this is an opportunity, isn't it, to maybe see what you can do without him, should that moment ever come, which I think most England fans hope never will. But how do you balance that?
Yeah, well, if he had his way, he'd play 90 minutes of every fixture, which is a brilliant quality to have, because if your captain wants to be at every camp and playing every minute of every game, that sets the tone for everything else. The fact is, we've got a good squad. We want to keep people involved and give people opportunities. We need to see certain things across the week to see how people can play at the level. So we'll make those decisions as to when he plays and when he doesn't play. But as I repeat, it's a good quality to have, and that's why he's got the number of caps he has. I always used to talk about the Gerrards and the Lampards and the Ashley Coles. They got 100+ caps because they committed every time to coming with England, and that's what you want.
Who captains if he doesn't tomorrow?
Well, I'll let Ivory Coast find that out when we put the team sheet in.
Now, a reminder, you can see England take on Ivory Coast tomorrow from 7 p.m. live on Sky Sports main events.